If a tree falls in the forest and nobody is around, does it make a sound? If my opponent goes to remove my card, but he can't pronounce the name, does the spell fizzle? The answer may surprise you. You see, like Hercules completing his 12 labors for the gods, I have to do whatever the top comment says. And this time, it's a deck that's very hard to read. So, welcome to the deck that is impossible to read. An important caveat is I didn't include any cards written in other languages because, in my opinion, there's no fun in that. Our win condition, after all, is social ridicule. We want our opponents to avoid us out of fear of social stigma by us laughing at them for mispronouncing our card names. They might fall to their knees begging and surrendering right away because of the backlash they might face. This entire deck is a verbal trap, a Rube Goldberg machine designed to break our opponents down psychologically. As I'm sure you can tell, I'm known as the most unhinged deck builder on the internet. So if you're sitting there thinking, I've got something I bet he can't build, challenge me in the comments down below, and the one with the most upvotes I have to build. And while you're down there, leave a like and subscribe. I appreciate it. Now wake up, it's time for the deck. Now, our commander is, of course, Asmarano Mardukadaistinakoldakar, the most unpronounceable name in Magic the Gathering, which is to our benefit since many stacks pieces have our opponents name a card. And if they can't name Asmarano Mardukadaistinakoldakar, we can sit there saying, I don't know who you're talking about. Of course, Asmarano Mardukadaistinakoldakar is not the only creature we have in the deck. There are more, including Drekavac, Stibsig Icebreakers, Sazakap's Brew, and Macetail Hystrodon, all of which have discard synergies, allowing us to cast Asmarano Mardukadaistinakoldakar. Now, since we are discarding so much, why not introduce another fun mechanic to our gameplay style, Madness, where we get a little discard discount. We got Muck Drub, Stromkirk Occultist, Grave Scrabbler, Necrogoyf, Voldarin Pariah, all difficult names to say, but all have madness indeed, which moves us to the next phase of our game plan, invoking something I like to call Star Wars Syndrome. You see, in Return of the Jedi, the culmination of the original trilogy, we travel to Jabba's palace where we meet the Max Rebo band. This is Max Rebo and his bandmates Droopy McCool and Cy Snoodles. Now, just saying their names made me sound insane and crazy, which is the point. We want cards that make our opponents lose their mind. Just like Blight Breath Catoblepus, which I had to Google if that was even a real word, Osseous Stick Twister, Anurid Murkdiver, Noxious Grudion, which I don't think is a word, Wreckage Wickerfolk, and Sting Moggy. We can't forget about Imskir Iron Eater or Zoyoa Lavatongue either, especially not Triskelavis and Traxos Scourge of Krug. Now, I don't know about you, but it sounds like the Key and Peele football sketch where I'm just saying random names. But let's spice it up a little bit with some really actually good cards that are still hard to pronounce. Old Flitterfang, you can't say that 5 times fast. When stuff dies, on end step we make a food, which is good for the deck. And Osteomancer Adept lets us cast stuff from our graveyard by foraging, aka sacrificing a food. Hey, we do that all the time. Can't forget about Sepulchral Primordial, one of the hardest spells, in my opinion, to say really fast. Sepulchral Primordial. It just makes my mouth hurt. Now, it's at this point of the video where we start to ask, how do we win? Obviously, we have Asmarano Mardukadaistinakoldakar and the Underworld Cookbook, which we can tap to discard a card. Perhaps Muck Drub, a Flash Madness card that allows us to steal something cool, like a Bear Umbra, or something bad, like a Beast Within. It's good, it's a neat little wombo. I liked it. We've also got Zoyoa Lavatongue, who, because we are descending each turn, each opponent may discard or sack, or they take 3 damage. That's not too bad. Imskir Iron Eater is cheap because we have affinity for artifacts, and we can find those artifacts thanks to the draw, allowing us to sacrifice those artifacts like Triskelavis, a 7-mana fish guy, which does 7 damage to our opponents, which is like 25% of their life total. We've also got Ingenious Artillerist, which is hard on the tongue to say, but whenever an artifact enters, he deals that much damage to each opponent. And guess what? Old Flitterfang is making those tokens. because stuff dies all the time in this game. Worst case scenario, Necrogoyf, and we win off Necrogoyf. Very nice, very cool, very awesome. Now, that's great and all, but we can't forget what this deck is all about. 866-903-3787, the Psychosis Hotline. By now, your opponents are reduced to a husk of their former self. They've lost all of their mental faculties, jumping through hoops and being laughed at by everyone at the table for mispronouncing basically every single card incorrectly. That is the end of the video, though, so if you liked it, leave a like. If you subscribe, subscribe. And hey, if you want to join the Discord, it is linked in the description down below. And if you have something you want me to build, leave that in the comments down below. Again, I have to do whatever you guys upvote the most. That's part of the deal. I hope to see you in the next one. Peace out.